What's up, everyone? We have some big news to talk about today. There was a $30.9 million trade that just shook the market. In today's video, we're going to be talking about that opportunity as well as what's going on in the overall market right now. There are some pretty big events happening behind the scenes. And guess what? We're not wasting any time. So, Tom, let's get right into today's episode.
Yeah, Mike, today was definitely not the uptrend that we saw from yesterday. Some stocks were up today, like Meta and a few other stocks like Coinbase. And I noticed a lot of the growth stocks were actually doing pretty well. But whenever you go look at the SPY overall, it was a pretty bloody day. And we actually rejected off that 399 to 400 area once again and started falling off. And in after hours, we are continuing to fall down here as AMC's earnings came out and shook the market, and we're also just seeing a bunch of earnings come out all at the same time. Even Rivian is kind of falling down here. AMC is very mixed so far, though, Mike. I will say they've been up a little bit, down, and it looks like right now they're kind of trending back to the upside a little bit. So I'm really hoping for AMC to continue up here into tomorrow. I think it would make for a very nice play in the markets, and we might get to be able to do a nice post-earnings continuation play on it. But looking at their numbers overall, it looks like they actually did pretty well. They ended up beating on EPS a little bit there. They ended up beating on revenue as well in the fourth quarter. And whenever you look at year over year numbers, Mike, some of these full year numbers are amazing. Like the revenue came in at 3.9 billion compared to around 2.5 billion for 2021. That is a huge increase year over year.
Absolutely. And you know what the thing is, when you look at AMC stock, it's like you said, right now in after hours, it's not doing too much, but over the past week, it has been running up quite a bit. I feel like going into tomorrow and the rest of the week for this stock, it'll all be a game of momentum. So if the momentum picks up, whether it be with the conference call or tomorrow around open or whatever, as long as that momentum sparked, there could be opportunity with this one. But if just nothing happens and it just like slowly fades off, then I don't think there will be much opportunity. So it's all of that like momentum is there, and when it's there, you'll definitely know because we saw it happen yesterday.
Yeah, we really did. I mean, that momentum was insane yesterday, especially in the middle of the day. We got that extension all the way up to 820 and we opened at $6.30. That was a huge pop. Like, let's see, percentage wise, looking almost like 29 or 30% on that uptrend there. But Mike, this is going to be a crazy stock. I know people are really looking at this. I was hoping that they would beat on sales by a little bit more. Now I know that they're, they still did pretty well year over year. And when you look at the fourth quarter, they did pretty good. Year over year, though, compared to the fourth quarter, it's not the best, but it's good to see the fourth quarter, rising compared to the third quarter here. What I will say, though, Mike, is that I was hoping for a little bit more out of the stock, at least right now. It's kind of dipping back down to $7.11. This is a stark contrast to what we saw with Zoom, for example, yesterday, where we got that huge move up as they reported great numbers. Now, of course, it consolidated today a little bit as the market was very shaky, but, AMC is not getting this type of continuation, at least right now, or this type of momentum yet. So, like you said, it's going to be very touch and feel with AMC stock tomorrow. And I don't know, I feel like it's going to be a tough one to trade, but right now, it's just not my favorite, and especially with like that Avatar movie coming out and some of those bigger movies, I was kind of hoping for them to do a little bit better.
Yeah, so we will see. We all know how crazy AMC stock is, but talking more about what happened in the overall market today, it was kind of a chop fest, but it ended up getting pretty bearish towards the end of the day. Tom, I noticed for SPY, we've been really channeling between that $400 resistance and then that support level right at $397 a share. What are your thoughts on this price action from today, but then also going into tomorrow?
Yeah, so today, like you said, we were kind of channeling between like 397 and 400, and we actually just broke below this 397 area here at the end of the day. And I would say, as of right now, that's a pretty good confirmation down below this as well. It's not like we just broke 397. We actually pushed below even 396.50 here, which has been also a little bit of a support there. Like every time there's a big support on SPY, you got to give or take about like 25 or 50 cents because we see these huge wicks come in all the time. Kind of like this area I'm circling here from today. Yesterday we were rejecting right around 399.50, but today, it was like right around 399.25. So it was still right around that area, but you just got to give or take a little bit. So I want the viewers to really keep that in mind. But I think that was a pretty clear break here at the end of the day. And if this holds up heading into tomorrow, there is a couple of areas down here around 395 that I'm going to be watching for a nice area of support. And then another one down around 393.50. I think those will be two very big areas for tomorrow. Now, obviously, use 397 as a big resistance and then 400. But I don't know, Mike. That was a pretty bearish close. And I did not like the way that, that heat map ended up looking here. It ended up looking overwhelmingly red. And, even like Apple and Microsoft, they're not red, but they're still down a little bit.
Exactly. So when you look at that heat map, just like you said, most of today's sell-off was not driven by big tech stocks, which is normally what happens. Most of the selling pressure is actually driven by these value stocks, whether it be, Johnson and Johnson or, Pfizer or Procter and Gamble or Coca-Cola or, stocks like that. So it's very interesting. I feel like tech stocks are at a standstill right now where a lot of them over 2023 they've been doing good, to say the least. Like Tesla's been on an explosive uptrend year to date, and they're to the point where it's like, yeah, Tesla's up, let's say 75% year to date, but it's not like there's horrible news going on where the stock is just, just going to drop another 50%. It's more so like, just maintaining now, and it's trying to, hold its current ground that it's, gained over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, it really is. And actually talking about Tesla, Mike, I think that Tesla's a pretty interesting play for tomorrow. And, for all my head and shoulders guys out there or all my technical traders, this is actually a pretty good head and shoulders pattern here. We're actually kind of bouncing off this shoulder around 208.50, which is a pretty big resistance on Tesla. That head this morning extended up to around 212. And, we got a lot of momentum lately. We got that big push up above 200. I'm pretty worried that we might end up falling below 204. And if that happens, that's going to be pretty hard on the tech sector there. So I don't know, Mike. This just makes me be a little bit more bearish even, especially with how much a lot of these tech stocks have been up. Like you said, year to date, Tesla's up 75%. Now, they're not really getting any downwards momentum yet, but I'm really going to be watching some of these key supports here, especially 200 as the next couple weeks go on, because if some of these levels break, we might get some pretty significant pullbacks.
You know it. And there's one stock that I've been watching pretty close over the past day, and that's actually Goldman Sachs. So this stock actually has just been falling in a pretty consistent way, and it's been falling with a good amount of momentum. So I actually have a close eye on Goldman Sachs going into tomorrow and the rest of the week to the downside. You look at that daily chart on Goldman Sachs, and that's a hell of a candle to the downside, and it does have some support right around 340. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up testing that some point in the near future.
Yeah, that's a big support down there. I like that level. And what I really like is that today was that first big red candle as well. You can see in the past, sometimes when this stock starts to go on a downtrend, it can actually have some pretty nice continuation. So I like that, Mike. I think this will be a pretty good play for the next few days. How did some of these other banks do today? Let's go see JP Morgan, Bank of America. Weird. I mean, Goldman's down a lot more than the other ones, Mike. Was there anything very significant with them?
Yeah, so Goldman actually had their investor day today, and clearly the market wasn't a big fan of it. So, we have a catalyst to, I guess you could say, back this downtrend, which is always a good thing for short-term trades. It's always nice to have some news or, a real reason for the stock to move the way it is. So it's definitely one of the top stocks on my watch list for the week to the downside.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about stocks to the downside, I'm being very careful with Boeing right now. I think that this stock is on the brink of disaster. They're right around the key $200 support. And I think if they start to break below that this week, we're going to see a major downtrend out of this one. And they have some terrible news from last week. They had to pause deliveries of their 787 Dreamliners over a fuselage issue, which is pretty much the overall body of the aircraft. So the main body of it. So I don't know, Mike. It's pretty bad news for an airline like Boeing to have to pause deliveries of these planes like this. That's obviously one of their main streams of income. And, looking at their stock, it's pretty overextended in the short term. Like if I had to pick a stock, that had a lot of growth here, Boeing had a ton. I mean, it's up like 82% from low to high. So I don't know. I think it has some more room back down. If we break below 200, I'm going to watch for a move down to 196 and then possibly even down to 190 over the next few days. But that $200 support is going to be key for us to break because, we have to see a solid break there or else we might end up holding this and bouncing up.
Good stuff. And I also noticed there's like a little bit of support right around like 198 as well. So probably keep that one on watch too.
Yeah, you can see like last week, it kind of on Thursday, we got that bad news come out. And then Friday, we kind of gapped down below 200, kind of faked out. But I feel like this week, if we get below 200, we'll at least get a solid intraday move. So keep it on the radar. It's going to be a pretty big one with that catalyst, kind of like Goldman's catalyst too.
Perfect. Another stock I'm watching pretty closely is Shopify. So SHOP, this stock has been bouncing off that $40 support in a pretty strong way. And I think it definitely has room up to like that $43 area as long as the market, I guess you could say doesn't fall off a cliff, So if we wake up tomorrow and the market's down 2%, you probably don't want to be playing Shopify call options. But, let's say the market holds up a little bit and Shopify is holding up, then I think this stock definitely has a good chance of getting to 43 in the near future.
Yeah, that's actually looks like a pretty nice level there. And I like how they gapped down the other day. So we might be able to fill that back up. I definitely will be watching Shopify. I know that, this stock's been a little crazy since their earnings. They had that big drop. So I think that they can definitely consolidate and start to at least come back up a little bit. And I will say, talking about stocks dropping, Mike, I cannot go without mentioning Intel right now because they are on a major support once again, right around like $24.50 to $25 here. And when I say major, like if we break below this support, we're going to be back to levels that this stock has not been at since 2014. So definitely keep this stock on the radar. It's Intel. As this support breaks, or if it breaks, I'm going to really contemplate starting to average into this one. I like how they're investing in their United States plant. I've been an investor into this stock multiple times off of key supports up here around $44 to the upside. Ended up losing, as it broke to the downside there. And, I haven't really gotten in since then. So I'm really watching this one for a potential play back to the upside. But I just wanted to talk about it because it's had a major support. And we might even see a bounce back up in the short term off of this. So I think it's definitely worth keeping on the radar here.
All righty, sounds good. Well, with that being said, Tom, it is now time for the momentum plays. With today's first one, we have Coinbase to the upside.
COIN, they actually did amazingly well this morning and they hit right off the key resistance here. So if they can break that resistance at 67.50, I'm going to watch for some calls back up again.
And with the next one, we have AMD, but to the downside.
Advanced Micro Devices. Yeah, a lot of consolidation here. If they end up breaking down below 78 even, I will watch for some puts in the morning.
And with the last one, we have Zoom, but we need both directions.
Yeah, Zoom, they had that big move up yesterday. I thought they were going to hold and maybe have a nice continuation, but that tech market kind of fell back down this morning. So I don't know if they end up falling down below 73, which seems like a pretty decent area of support from pre-earnings, then I'm going to go ahead and watch for some puts. But if they end up popping up above intraday resistance today around 75, 77, then I'm going to watch for some calls back up. I will say this one's going to be a little bit tricky, and it's going to be like a post-earnings play here.
All right, so you guys heard the levels that Tom listed. If it breaks below the lower one, we're looking at it for a day trade down. If it breaks above the higher level, we're looking at it for a day trade up. Also, don't forget about AMD for that downside level as well, and then Coinbase for that upside level. But it is now time for the $30.97 million trade of the day. Tom, it's been a while since we saw a big money trade this large. So today we had $30.97 million go into Square, and it was the Square 60 strike call options that expire on June 16th of 2023. So this is a bold trade for my viewers out there who don't understand options. This is essentially a bet that Square is going to move to the upside. The higher it goes, the more millions that the big money trader in this situation will make. This trade has until June 16th of 2023, and the higher the stock goes, the better, like I said. Looking at Square, this is a very bold trade given the dollar amount. At the same time, Square has a long history of solid movement to the upside and the downside. Square is pretty oversold when you look at that daily chart. Square right now is sitting right around $76.70, and it has recent lows of around $50 a share that it made back in October of 2022, and it has highs close to $290 a share that it made in August of 2021. So in the short term, it's definitely pretty oversold, and I don't think this is a bad trade at all.
Yeah, I don't either. I'll say I like this setup a lot. That support that Square's been bouncing at recently, down there around like $50 to $60, has been huge. There was multiple bounces there, pretty much from 2018 all the way up till that COVID explosion. So I think that's an amazing area of support. And I even like the short-term price action. They had some decent movement back up over the past couple months, and then now they're kind of consolidating back down a little bit, and it kind of looks like they're trying to do a nice dip buy here on this uptrend, and I do like that. I think it's a very nice play. I really like that they're in the money at that 60 strike. That's awesome. It's $30 million, like you said, Mike. We haven't seen something like this in a long time where it's been this much money into an unusual options play. And I'm very curious to see what Square does over the next few days, because, it's in that growth sector. And, like you said, it's been down a lot this year. There's definitely a lot of room back to the upside. And, what I even like about this is it's out to June. It's not like that they're holding this into next year or anything like that. They're looking for this over the next few months to get a nice pop up. So I don't know. I think this could be a very nice swing play to start to follow.
Absolutely. I'm pretty excited about it, and it's definitely a pretty crazy play. If you guys are looking to get access to, these big money plays every single day before the market closes, make sure to check out that first link in the description in the comments down below. Not only will you get access to these style of trades every single day before the market closes, but you'll also get access to our bots day trades. Our sniper bot had a hell of a day today. It called out the Square 78 strike call options at $92 each, and they popped all the way up to $163 each just a couple hours later. And there are a bunch of other bot plays and custom software that you won't find anywhere else. It's awesome if you're into short-term trading, so definitely make sure to check it out. You can cancel it anytime. It's going to be that first link in the description in the comments down below. And Tom, I'll tell you, these unusual options trades have been on fire, especially over the past couple weeks, whether it's with Boyle, that $1.3 million play that popped up, or even OPRA, Tom, from the other week. That actually exploded up after they reported earnings. So check this out, guys. Ticker symbol OPRA. There was $1 million put into the $6.72 strike call options on February 13th. And then what do you guys know? Just the other day, the stock booms to the upside. So if you want setups like this, check out that first link in the description in the comments down below.
Yeah, they are awesome. Unusual options are some of the funnest things to play. And Mike, we've been seeing a lot of these plays pop up a lot lately. So make sure you get in on the same day. A lot of these stocks even end up popping up the very next day. So it's very crucial. I love this play on Square from today, Mike. I love unusual options as well. It's going to be a hell of a week. We're starting to see some of these nice plays develop post earnings, and this looks like a nice earnings bet too. So oh man, it's going to be awesome. And it's nice to see the sniper bot heating up today too. And that was on Square as well.
True. Yeah, so we're definitely set for an exciting rest of the week and an exciting next couple of weeks. So definitely make sure to join up. But Tom, looking at the market for tomorrow, we're back, or we've fallen lower than the $400 level, which has been key over the past week. It's looking a little bit scary heading into tomorrow. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I guess, really quick, just some earnings for tomorrow. We do have Wendy's, Neo, Lowe's, Dollar Tree before the market opens. And after hours, it looks like we have Salesforce, Snowflake, Plug, SPLK, Celsius. So there's a lot of stocks reporting tomorrow. I'm really going to keep my eyes on Neo. Rivian reported tonight, took a pretty big dump in after hours. I hope Neo doesn't follow suit, kind of like what Rivian did. But, Salesforce and Snowflake are going to be my favorites in after hours there. So I have my eyes on a lot of earnings for the rest of the week. Even Costco on Thursday is going to be a pretty big one I'm keeping my eye on. But, as everybody knows, AMC is the favorite, and it really stole the spotlight today. I hope that AMC can start to get back up tomorrow, but right now it's honestly seeming like a bad theta burner, Mike. I feel bad for all the guys swinging calls on this one as of now. Hopefully by the morning we see a big turnaround out of this.
All right, we will see. Also, I want to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, Umbra, in the Stocked Up Discord. You've been in the chat for around a month and a half, and your activity's been pretty solid lately. So definitely make sure to keep it up. Last but not least, like I said, if you guys are looking to capitalize off of these short-term moves, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. Besides that, let's have an amazing end to the week.